Hello, Klemen here. So in this video walkthrough, I will show you and guide you step by step how to set up a funnel inside GoHighLevel for a live web class. So GoHighLevel lets you build all types of funnels. This one is specific for what we might call a live online event. This is typically a Zoom call or any other live event such as a webinar, web class, masterclass, something that happens on a specific date and time. Now, to refresh your memory, here we have the actual launch timeline, and here the webinar day, the web class day, we have it on Wednesday, February 28th, and then we start the invite sequence here on Wednesday, February 21st, so which means in about 3 days from now. So that's a high-level overview of the entire launch timeline. As you know by now, this launch timeline actually has 3 distinct sequences. One is the invite sequence. This one is designed to get as many people from Instagram and email list to actually register and sign up for this web class that's coming here on Wednesday, February 28th. Then we have the show up sequence. Show up sequence are basically email reminders sent to all those who have already registered during the invite sequence. The objective of this sequence is to remind people that there is a web class coming up that they signed up for, and also remind them of why they should sign up. This is also almost like a mental countdown, because every of these show up emails is almost like a countdown, like 5 days left, 4 days left, 3 days left, get ready, 2 days left. And then finally we have the sales sequence. This sequence is designed to attract and convert as many of people who have registered for this web class during the invite sequence, is to actually inspire them to enroll into the paid program, in this case Quantum Creations program. The sales sequence starts immediately on the day of the webinar day. This is again Wednesday, February 28th, and the sales sequence starts officially on the actual live web class. We call it web classes, by the way, not webinars. I don't like the name webinars, but we call it a web class. And the sales sequence starts on the web class the moment Carrie would basically switch over to an offer and invite webinar attendees to actually go deeper and learn more and join her Quantum Creations program. And then it goes on here until March 4th when the actual program starts. And you will see also here in this timeline, we have certain things that kind of help us in planning and executing the entire launch. We have launch day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so forth. It's a 14-day launch. Then we have the countdown to the event. So we have 7 days left, 6 days left, 5 days left to the actual free web class. And at the moment web class happens, we have the countdown to the start of the program, when the program starts. So that's a high-level overview of the launch timeline. Then, as you know, we will be nicely documenting everything inside this amazing launch deck. A bunch of notes we already have here. All the key dates are really nicely documented here. Also, this entire timeline is embedded directly from this Google Sheet. A gentle reminder, please never edit this table and the timeline inside the Google Doc, but instead simply open the linked table that is basically this same same timeline that I was showing you just earlier. Okay, so now let's go to set up actually a funnel. So the first most important part, since this is a live event, and the first most important part is that we just need to have everything ready to start the invite sequence on Wednesday, February 21st. And to start the invite sequence, to actually publish all these things and send out invitations for people to register, we need to have everything ready to allow people to register. So that means that the registration page needs to be ready, registration complete page needs to be ready, and also the first show up email number 1. This one is sent automatically to every time somebody register. This is basically a registration confirmation email. So this is what I will be setting up right now. So inside GoHighLevel, let me just move myself a little bit. Klemen, get out of the way. We go to sites and then funnels, and then here we already have this funnel here. As you can see, this one, the good news is, as you know, is that this is actually our second better version, second take of the same web class, Magnetizing Our Dreams and Desires, that we already did in the past. So this time I simply renamed the funnel into just change the date here at the end, as you can see here. Now, very, very important, when you are everything in GoHighLevel, you want to really maintain a nice naming convention for everything that you do. How you name funnels, for example, how you name forms, surveys, workflows, everything needs to be named nicely so that anyone who comes in can quickly, and also you, every time you come in, you will be able to navigate through all these different elements quite with ease, grace, and flow. So this is the funnel that we will be editing, and this funnel is fairly simple and straightforward. It only has 4 funnel steps, 4 funnel pages. The registration page, where people register and sign up for the actual web class, then the registration complete page, which is the first next page that they would see people after they registered for the web class. Then we have the sales page. This sales page actually really kicks in, and we actually use it only here when we start the sales sequence. So technically, during the entire invite sequence, we can go without the sales page. So that's another benefit of doing live webinars, live web classes, is that you can go like step by step. When you start the invite sequence, you don't actually need the sales page yet. You only need the sales page, let's say 1 or 2 days before the actual live web class, because this is where you actually give an offer and you give people a link to actually learn more about the paid program and then enroll into the program. So that's a beautiful part of doing these things, live online events as live sessions that happen on a specific date and time, just like in this case Wednesday, February 28th. Okay, now, and then we have order complete page. Order complete page is basically another version of the thank you page, but I recommend you keep very nice naming. For example, this one, people often use thank you page, thank you page, thank you page. Thank you can mean so many things like thank you for registering, thank you for purchasing, thank you for submitting your application, right? So I like to name these pages as you see here: registration complete, order complete, booking complete, right? So that way it's easier to edit. So let's first go into so the first thing that we'll be setting up will be, and I'll be jumping back and forth, are actually funnel steps or funnel pages. Then also very important is we will also set up what's called the workflow or the automation inside GoHighLevel. So automations and workflows happen when something is triggered. Automations are always triggered by an event. In our case, we will have at least one trigger, which is every time somebody registers for the free web class. The moment this happens, we need to bare minimum assign them a tag in GoHighLevel, a tag, and also send them a confirmation email or show up email number 1. So that's what we will do. Then also we will also have another workflow, which is not so important right now because we don't need anything. It's every time somebody makes a purchase of the paid program, again, we want to assign them a tag. So that we can later on segment these contacts, so we can know who to send emails to and whatnot, and then also to send them a confirmation email with more information about their purchase, when to access the program, how to access it, and so forth. So first of all, let's start with the registration page. So let's do this. I like to open all these pages in new tabs. So let's do this. So first, registration page. Now the first thing, even though GoHighLevel by default displays this page in the desktop mode, sorry, you always want to always see things from the mobile view. Now this page already proven, this type of template proven to convert really well. You will notice one thing: it's very short and simple, does not have a lot of content, and that's by design. We just give enough. So we have some kind of a call out, then we have the main headline, the sub headline, register for free below. Now there's one thing missing here on this particular page, which is the date and time of the web class, of the live web class. If this was an evergreen or autopilot web class, then we would not need to add a date and time, but in this case it is, because a reminder, the web class actually happens on a specific date and time. Therefore we need to add here, we will add here an element, and we will go here. In fact, we don't even need to create any fancy element. I'll just duplicate this one, and I will put here, this will be, let me double check, this will be Wednesday, February 28th and double check here. That's why we need launch deck, because this is the date basically when the web class happens. That's another practical reason why we want to have this launch deck and timeline. With this, you have all information in one place for quick and easy access and reference. And that's another reason why the first thing when you are launching something with a live online event, free online event, the first thing you want to do is confirm the timeline and create this timeline, and then also create this launch deck and nicely document all things in one place. Key dates, what are the goals, what is the timeline, and so forth. Yeah. So this is the date and time. And what I will do is I will put here, I'll simply paste this, and we will put this into a bold like this, and we will add an icon here, select an icon, calendar, and then we'll put this one. And this one is now black color, and then again here we will choose a white icon color, something like this. And then we'll hit publish. And then we will change this. Update SEO metadata. I will do the same here. And this is already registration confirmation page. I'll just save this. This is meta title description, not a big deal, but I like to keep this also nicely organized. Now for this one, what would make sense is we would make this text a little bit bigger. So then this will be probably 20, oops, sorry, not something. Ideally want to stick to the one line here, and we can even 11 US Central Time, yeah. I'm a big fan actually of Eastern Time, US Eastern Time, and the reason being is that over half of population in the United States actually lives in US Eastern Time, New York, Miami, and so forth. So this would actually be, I would put here instead 12 p.m. US Eastern Time, and then what we can do, we can even remove 2024 and perhaps put like this Eastern Time and put this 18 Wednesday, perfect. And then on desktop we can make this very likely 26 or even more to still look nice. Okay, so we will publish. Now that's the first thing. Now from this point onward, nothing really that needs to change on the content side of things. Copy, and the reason being is this, if we go back for example to the stats of the first attempt of this particular web class, if we go to stats, we will see that this page already converted ridiculously high. So this is a high converting page. So every time you're doing a web class, a live online event, follow this template. It works, and this is, by the way, not by luck. We've done this, as you know, this like probably hundreds of times, and this is all by design. So we have here 80% conversion rate. This is from the last time we did this. So that's ridiculous conversion rate. Now, very important note, this is primarily warm traffic. By warm traffic, I mean people coming from Carrie's email list and social media, Instagram. So that's another reason why it's converting so high. But if we would plug in this web class, this registration page to a cold traffic, for example, such as paid ads, it would equally convert really, really well. Okay. So the only thing then, that's also very important, is the form, registration form. Now how GoHighLevel works is, this is again an element. Now let me zoom out. In GoHighLevel, inside the page builder, it's probably one of the best page builders that I've seen. So cool, so amazing. You have several building blocks of every page in GoHighLevel. You have the section. These are the green ones, or this one gray ones. This one is actually a global section. Every time you change this global section, it will be updated everywhere else where this global section is inserted. This is perfect for, let's say, headers and footers. For example, if I would remove this logo from this section here and click save here, publish, any page that has this global section inserted would also be automatically updated. So it's a very handy feature. The green ones are also sections, as you can see here. Then in every section, then we have the blue ones. You don't see them now, but these are rows. You can always expand layers here. So this one is the green one, hero, is as you can see, this is a section. Then we have column. These are the blue ones, and then inside columns you have we have rows in the blue ones, and then inside rows you have columns, and then inside columns you have the orange ones. These are the elements. So the smallest building block of any page inside GoHighLevel is an element, the orange color. So again, one type of the element is the form here. So let's see which form we have here. So the only thing that I will do here right now is this will already work normally, but I like to keep things really nice and nicely named. So I will go to the form section here. I'll open this in new tab, and I will not even edit the form. The form is already there. It works. I will simply rename it because again, we want to have really nice and crisp structure. So this is the web class magnetize. So this is the incorrect. So this should be magnetizing. So these are little details, but it makes sense to. I'll just rename them to rename magnetizing the dreams and desires, and then this will be February 28. I'll just click save, and if I go to the registration page here, I reload. Okay. So if we click here, we have here, okay, this will update, so that's not a big deal. Then a next very important part is, okay, on this form element, what happens when a visitor submits this form? So here we have button actions in this element, right? So I selected the settings of this element, and here we have a URL. Let's see what URL is this. Right now, okay, this is not correct. So this one right now, if we go back to the funnel, this right now, there's a URL of the sales page, as you can see here. So we need to put in this URL. So I would simply select this. I will copy this. I'll go back here. I can close this and go here again, settings of this form, and I will delete this and I will paste this inside. So yeah, so every time somebody registers, we need to redirect the user to the registration complete page, which is this page, which we will edit in just a bit, okay? So with this, we more or less have this form, this page ready, and the form is ready. Now the next thing is I will check is the registration complete page. So let's see. Now here's also a lot of science, a lot of trial and error, and a lot of lessons. So the moment somebody registers for the web class, they are registered, obviously they will be added to the what we call a sublist. Sublist is a subsegment of contacts that are matched and grouped around a specific campaign. In this case, the registered people for this free web class. But we will say here, wait, you're almost done, complete these 2 steps below. So the moment somebody registers, so if you go back here, the intention objective of the invite sequence is to maximize number of registrations, maximize the number of people who register for this particular free web class. The more people register, the more likely the more people eventually at the end will enroll into the paid program. Now, the moment somebody registers, then this switches the objective. Now, after they registered, we want to ensure that we have as high show-up rates or attendance rates as possible. The more people attend the actual live web class or watch the replay, the more people will be enrolling into the paid program. It's that simple. So these are the biggest leverage points. Maximize the number of registrations, maximize the percentage of people who show up for the actual live event or watch the replay. So these are 2 biggest leverage points to grow the final number of enrollments and also sales and revenue for any live web class like this. So the first thing what we would say is step 1, check your email inbox. Your response is required. I'll get to that just in a minute. But typically the moment somebody registers, we would send them a confirmation email. Hey, you registered, but please reply yes to this email to indicate that you will show up for this web class. Several reasons for that, which I will get back in just a bit when we go into the workflow. Now, another thing is we want to allow people to add this event. Remember, it's a live event that happens on a specific date and time. And also remember the objective of the show up sequence. So the moment somebody registers, they are already in the show up sequence. The objective of the show up sequence is to ensure that as high percentage of people who registered actually shows up and attends the live web class. And we need to do as many things as possible to get them to show up, right? One of them is email reminders. The other one is that they add this event to their favorite calendar, the app such as Google Calendar, Apple Calendar, and so forth. So the last time we did this web class We broke, I think, the records in terms of show-up rates. I think we had more than 50% of people showing up, which I think, in fact, it's not I think, I know it's above the average show-up rate. Typically for live web classes in the B2C market is the show-up rate would be anywhere from 25 to 35% or something like this. Everything above 30 is already considered good. Everything above 40 is great. Everything above 50% above, it's considered like remarkable. Again, for a live event that happens in the future date and time. Automated, on-demand, autopilot web classes have higher show-up rate simply because they're available on demand. People can choose when they will watch it. But this is in a way like the downside compared to the autopilot web classes for of a live web class is that this session happens at the same date and time for everyone, regardless of where people live, what schedules do they have, how busy they are. So that's the downside of live web classes compared to autopilot on-demand web classes. But enough about this. So what we have here, this is actually almost like a plugin, a widget from an external service provider. So it's magnetizing. The only thing we need to change here is this one. We need to change this date. It's 28th. And here, it starts on 12. And yeah, I think we need to put this into 24-hour format, something like this. Everything is more or less done. So this is a widget and we will show them Apple Calendar, Google Calendar, iCalendar, Outlook, Yahoo, and so forth. I click Save. Also, very important part, in order for this JavaScript code to work here in the tracking code, we need to have this snippet inserted. And this is, by the way, this is from this service, just a second. Add to calendar button. It's a free widget and it's actually fairly simple to install. You simply copy paste this JavaScript code into the header section of the font of the, in this case, our registration complete page. This is the code, so same code here. And then wherever you want to have these buttons to be displayed, you would insert a similar code like this. This is just an example, but we've already modified it. You will see how this works. If I go to the code editor, you will see here that this event, just like any other event in the calendar, has a live web class, has a title, name, it has a description, it has start date and time, end date and time, the time zone, the link. Very important. So here, please do not, let me double check if we already have a Zoom link here. Very, very important. So Christy, after you have created a Zoom link inside Zoom account, your Zoom account, very important, please document this link here in this place, and then do not forget to actually add this Zoom link here. You would go here, I will right now show you, and you would delete this and then you would paste it here. For now, I will just leave it the way it is, and I will click publish. Now let's see how this page, how these buttons actually look like this is how it looks like. So I will add this event right now to, let's say, Google Calendar, and you can see this is how you can test if everything works correctly. It's a live web class. This is the event name, magnetizing your dreams and desires. This is the Zoom link here, and this is the description. Perfect. And the date time would be February, yes, 12 p.m. Perfect, 1:30 up. Yeah, that's correct. Eastern time, New York. So this works correctly. I will close this now and leave. Okay, so that's setting up the pages. In this video, I will not cover the sales page. That's a slightly different thing. So we're just right now focusing on getting started the actual invite sequence. So I'll double check. I'll click here, publish, and also this is the registration page and also registration complete page. Okay. Oops. Okay. So now now the final thing is, what we need to do is we will go to the automation. So automation is in place. The moment somebody registers and submits the registration form, something needs to happen. As we already know by now, the person needs to be redirected to the to the registration complete page. We already did that. And the second thing that needs to happen is we need to send them an email and we need to assign this person a tag so that we can then later on segment. The most important thing why we need to add a tag to the person. This one is initiate checkout. Sorry, this is the incorrect. We'll cover that. This one is Webclass, magnetizing your dreams and desires. In fact, for the purpose of this one, what I will do, I will actually, to demonstrate you another power GoHighLevel, I will not edit the existing automation here from the previous Webclass, but instead I will clone and duplicate this one. This one is, yes, I will duplicate the workflow, and then the only thing that I would change is I would change here the title. So that's another power of GoHighLevel. You can easily clone or duplicate all elements such as funnel pages, even entire funnels, as well as workflows and automations here. So now we have it here. Again, please pay attention to the naming convention. We have QC for quantum creations, the vertical, the project within the Carries ecosystem. Then we have Webclass, the title of the Webclass, magnetizing your dreams and desires, February 28, 2024. And then we have here register. So it's really just by reading the name, you know what this is all about, what kind of workflow. It's for the registrations. So we go into the workflow. And the first thing that we need to do is we need to assign them a tag. Now, if I zoom this in a little bit, oops. So let me go back. Come on, Apple mouse. Okay, one more time. Okay, got it. Like this. So this is the tag. Since I cloned this workflow, this is the tag that has been added, that was set up for the first instance of this free live web class that happened in the past. So what we will do here, we will add a new tag. And also another important part, notice how these tags are named here. Again, just by reading and looking at the tag, what the tag says, everyone, you will know what this tag is all about. This is vitally important later on when you are sending out various emails and automations to people. Very, very important. But as a general rule of thumb is every time the person, the contact, does something in GoHighLevel, such as opt in for something, register for something, subscribe to something, book an appointment, purchase something, order something, submit a survey, every time the user does a core conversion action, we want to assign them a tag with proper naming so that we can always then later on segment these contacts and properly communicate with them. In this case, I will put this one, magnetizing your dreams and desires. So this one will be very similar to the first one tag, but this one will be Feb 28, 2024. Another thing, if it's an event-based thing, we always add also a date when this happens. So in this is a prime example, right? We have people who have registered for the first instance of the web class, and now we want to have a different tag for people who have registered for the second instance for this web class, and we'll put here register. So okay, and then we'll simply click new tag. Okay, and then we will remove the old one, and I will save action. As a side note, where you can edit these tags, you can edit these tags by going to the settings here in GoHighLevel. I will open this in a new tab, and then here in the settings you will see here at the bottom you have tags, and now the new tag will already be created. As you can see here, it's already here. So at any given time you can rename, delete these tags. Very important, every time you change the name of the tag, the automations will more like break, but they will stop working. So if you choose to rename a tag, that's usually not a good practice. It's always better to create a new tag than go to any automation that was using the old tag, change the settings, and then go to this is a separate, not so important in this particular video. But anyways, we have the tag here. So I'll close this. We go back to the automation. So, okay, we are assigning a tag to the person. Now, very important, the most important part of every automation inside GoHighLevel, every automation is triggered by some kind of an event. In this case, when the form has been submitted, you can see here form submitted. This is the name, you can name it something, whatever you want. Then form is, notice this one, QC. So you see that here's another reason why naming conventions are so important, because when you are kind of setting things up in GoHighLevel, you always want to have a crisp naming so you kind of always know which one to select. For example, let me go here. If I select here, there's so many forms here. Oh, which one should I check? I'll just go Feb 28. It's only one. Yeah, and I'll click save. So we added the tag, okay, and then we also send out an email. So this one is you want to check Carrie. I think sorry, Christy. So let's say Carrie drink wine. So in this one, I believe we need to use this is from email carriedrinkwine.com. Then we have your response is required, magnetizing this is a typical subject line of the first. This email, by the way, here, even though it's sent automatically, this is this first email, show up number 1, registration confirmation. So we go here, it's Carrie, your response is required. First of all, congrats on registering for my coming web class, Magnetizing Your Dreams and Desires. Here are the details of this coming training. Tuesday, February, you see, we need to change here, 28th and say we set 12 p.m. US Eastern Time. And then Zoom link, very, very important, Carrie. Please set up the Zoom link here after you've added it here inside the Google Doc, and also after you've also added it in the registration complete page here inside this code. Very, very, very important. This is, if people do not have the Zoom link to actually join, this will confuse them. It creates friction in the show-up rates and it harms the show-up rate. Then meeting ID, also this one are not so important because this code here, password is already, so you can totally remove this. You'll discover the sync, reply yes, and this one is step 1, reply with yes to this message to indicate that you intend to watch watch this. We have limited slots available for this Zoom session. Step 1, click here to add this web class to your favorite calendar app, and this link actually links to the registration complete page. If you remember, where we set up the actual buttons of this so they can easily add to their favorite calendar. Okay, so this is it. We'll click save. You'll love this. Click save action, and then finally save, and we will publish. So that's how things work. Now, finally, what I always not love to do, or I like to do, but finally, every launch manager must do the final QA. This means quality assurance test. And the simplest way to do so, you literally go to the registration page, you open this in a browser, as you will see here, and I will use this email, let's say Klemen Struc plus, and this is February 18th, 001@gmail.com. So let's see if all the information is here. The most important part when you're testing things out are actually not the copy, but if everything works technically the way it needs to work. For example, are there any bugs or errors? Are people redirected to the correct page? Nothing harms results of a launch more than technical bugs, things not working the way they need to work. For example, redirects not working properly, or redirecting to the incorrect page, people not getting their Zoom link, emails not being delivered to their inboxes. This is the biggest, I would say, weight that harms the results of any launch, and it has nothing to do with marketing message, offer, the quality of copywriting. It's just technical. It needs to work, right? So, okay, if everything works correctly, I will be redirected to the registration complete page. As you can see here, yes, this is correct. I have everything here. I can add this to my calendar. I will not do this right now. And also now finally this is the email address that I used. So what I will do right now is I will go to contacts. I will pause this recording to protect the privacy of all the contacts. Okay, here we are. So I just searched this email address, and you can see here, this contact, I'm now here in the contacts tab. This contact has been added to GoHighLevel. That's, by the way, a quick hack. This is how you can use different email addresses. You simply add, let's say if your email address is this one, in my case, it's klemenstruc@gmail.com. If after, just before @ you add plus, and then whatever else you add, this is how you can add, these are called aliases. If you send an email to this inbox, for example, let's say Feb 18th, 001, and then when I'm testing, I would then use a sequence 002, 003, 004. These are all basically considered as unique email addresses, but any email that comes to any of these emails would always end up in the same primary inbox of this. This is called aliases in Gmail. It's an amazing, valuable feature and handy feature. So you can see I'm here. I have also here I have the tag also here inside. You see this one, 24 Feb 28, sorry, 2024. So everything in this regards works correctly. So this is it. This is just the first step to actually, what did we cover? We covered how to set up a funnel for a live online event. We set up all the redirects, set up the copy, the pages, the automation, the tagging. So from this point onward, if we started the invite sequence, let's say today, if today was Wednesday and we are now ready to start promoting this web class and sending people to the registration page. We are fully ready. The entire system is working. And the final thing you can also check, I will copy this email address here. So if I go back to automations, if everything works correctly, then if we go to this one, February 28th, you will see here, you will see that a new contact has been added in this automation here. If I just click here on this one, and you will see my email address. So this, you can see Klemen Struc plus feb18th001@gmail.com. So, and you can see even the entire, for every contact, the execution log, okay, removed from this workflow, send an email, added a contact, and added to workflow, February 18th. Let me double check the setting of this automation here. Yeah, this is it. Hopefully this was of value. High level summary, GoHighLevel is amazing. All the best.